if I was to describe it in like a little, it's like malty, meaty, and kind of dehydrated fruits like that banana, that orange, the coriander. Welcome back to Whisky Whims with me,
Mr. Worldwide!
Stuart. Today we've got a Ben Nevis from Signatory Vintage. It's an 8-year-old. It's been matured in, I believe, Oloroso casks. Matured in Oloroso sherry butts. Unchill filtered, no added colouring, 46% ABV. I might be a little bit louder because I feel like I've got a blocked ear. It's a little bit annoying, but anyway. This was about £50. This was a Christmas present from my fiance's little brother. I didn't ask for this whiskey. I was quite pleasantly surprised when I seen it, and then when I opened it up and tried it, I was more surprised. So yeah, I'll let you know why I was surprised at the end. But like I said, £50, pretty good face value on paper. It's this hibiscus, I believe it's called, decanter, which looks a little pricey, so I would have thought it would be a little bit more expensive than that, but evidently not.
Evidently not.
So we'll get down to the palate, the nose, and the finish, and we'll see if it's a Whisky Win or a Whisky Bin. So the nose, yeah, it's meaty and quite malty in the nose. The sherry seems to be taking a bit of a backseat here. It's not as strong as I thought it was going to be, and that's one of the reasons I was surprised. I thought with the colour of this, with the Oloroso, it might have overpowered the Ben Nevis character, but it doesn't seem to be the case, and I wonder if it was a lot shorter maturation than normal, or what the script is. Maybe the casks weren't as wet, or weren't as soaked in the sherry. There's some coriander there, dried plums, maybe some marzipan there as well, and then the sherry notes start to make a bit of an appearance. I mean, dried plum, you could say sherry, but the notes I'm thinking of now, or smelling now, getting now, are kind of a bag of dried fruits and assorted nuts on the nose. So yeah, the sherry kind of takes a bit of a back seat. You get the maltiness through first and foremost, and then the sherry comes through. Quite good that has happened and not destroyed the Ben Nevis spirit. So yeah, we'll get down to the palate. More malty goodness coming through there on the palate. There's also a bit of a spiciness, and I want to say like white pepper, possibly a little bit of cinnamon. There's quite a milky coffee flavour there, and let's say it's got the tiniest drop of caramel syrup in there. So something that you'd get at like Costa or something. Quite a milky coffee, and not loads of caramel syrup, but just a little drop of it there. Pleasant, quite a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of bitterness, and a little bit of sweetness there. Well balanced.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Well put together. We'll see what else we can get on the palate. There's a touch of smoke towards the end of the palate, which makes it a little bit drying and a little bit bitter. But yeah, I think this is the cask selection here is fantastic, and bought on an 8-year-old. It doesn't, like I don't know if I mentioned the age, but yeah, I was gonna say a big 8-year-old statement on there. It's quite tiny actually, but 8-year-old, it is on there, and this, maybe the sherry helps it a little bit. Maybe it's the Ben Nevis spirit, but it drinks maybe like a 15-year-old or even older. It's refined in a sense. The finish, yeah, the finish is long. There's dried orange there. There's dehydrated banana slices, possibly some more coffee coming through that are a little bit bitter. There's a little bit of oak, and try to think if there's anything else there. There's possibly a touch of kind of mineral characteristics at the end. But all in all, yeah, it's tasty. I have been enjoying this from Christmas since I opened it. As you can see, I've smacked quite a fair bit of it. It is February, but this has been one that I've been reaching for, one that I've seen on the shelf, and one if I've been struggling to pick a whiskey, I tend to go for this because it's been quite a delight. So we'll get down to the rating of it, see if it's a Whisky Win or a Whisky Bin. So if you're new here, I rate my whiskies on 3 factors. Would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? So would I buy it again? I didn't buy it initially, but I would buy this again. The sherry might be, you might be put off a little bit if you're maybe not in a sherry mood, or if you think kind of sherry's overpowering, which it can be in these modern day finishes, but this just hits the mark with a sherry finish. The sherry's there, but it's not all about the sherry. The Dal Ewan I reviewed last time, that was more sherry dominant, and it was definitely the feature of that whiskey. This is not the feature of this whiskey, so I would buy it again. I wouldn't mind another bottle of this, seeing how it goes on, if it sells out or how it goes in the auction. Do I think it's worth it at £50? Yes. My only gripe with it is, could it be less if they didn't put it in this spectacular bottle? But even at that, £50, 8-year-old Ben Nevis, Oloroso cask, I don't think I can complain. I don't think anybody can complain at that price. I know I'm trying to, but so yeah, I think it's worth it, and would I recommend it? For sure. If you like Ben Nevis, it's not as, I tend to think that Ben Nevis is quite a dirty malt, but maybe that's just been some experiences. It's not as dirty, but it's still got a little bit of dirtiness, but it's more malty and more meaty. That's the best way I'd describe it. If I was to describe it in like a little, it's like malty, meaty, and kind of dehydrated fruits like that banana, that orange, the coriander. So yeah, you should try this. It's definitely a Whisky Win. It's 3 out of 3 for sure. So I've enjoyed reviewing this. I've enjoyed drinking it. I hope you've enjoyed the review. I've been Stuart. This has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.